Hello everyone, this is Sensei Starman and welcome back to Let's Play Baldur's Gate 3. Last time you'll recall, we started exploring rumors of a Selûnite underground within the Shadowlands, and we did eventually find a collection of artifacts belonging to the Moon Goddess. Shadowheart has not asked about destroying them yet, but I'm pretty sure that's coming. Anyway, we are in camp. And I thought this is a good time to try and catch up with everybody, see how they're feeling.
Soldier?
Okay, nothing new from Karlach.
Another step forward.
So, that's what people mean when they talk about butterflies in their stomach. Did you want something?
And
Very serious of you. But go ahead.
how are you faring?
Well, I'd be lying if I said I hadn't been dwelling on becoming a Dark Justiciar. Perhaps seeing the power of Shah unleashed on that land is keeping the thought in my mind. But don't worry. I still have plenty of room for you in both mind and heart.
Fine. What's on your mind?
Quite splendidly, to give credit where it's due. You and I have shared some good times together, and it seems we have plenty in common. Considering all we've been through, I think I was very lucky to find such favorable company. And attractive company too, no less.
Always a delight to speak with you. What can I do?
Okay, nothing from Gale.
Well met.
Nothing new with Will. And we haven't talked to Haslin since we got to the Shadowlands, so...
The shadow curse is upon us. As foul as I remember it. Perhaps even worse. But, with the Oak Father's blessing, we may soon see it banished from these lands.
let's see. Still feeling at home here with us? The surroundings are less bucolic, I understand.
It's not easy, seeing the ravages of the shadow curse. But your camp is a most welcome solace. You've shared your fire with me, your company. A small pocket of light against the darkness. But one I couldn't do without. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You're too modest by far. What fate would I have met without you? Rotting in the goblin cells? Dying against an onslaught on the grove? More good has been done since I met you than in 100 years before. Words cannot express my gratitude.
Maybe you can show your appreciation another way. No words are needed, I understand how you feel.
Yes, I think you do. Forgive me. Sometimes I forget myself, gazing on the beauty of nature's creations.
We're in the midst of the Shadow Curse. Any more you can tell me about lifting it?
This land is more than just soil and rock, root and leaf. It is a living being, in the form of a young fey boy, with the forest itself in his eyes. His name is Thaniel. I've met him in my meditations, but since the curse was unleashed, I have not felt his presence. He is its prisoner, I fear. And as long as he remains so, his domain will lie in darkness. But if we can find him, we can break the curse. If you learn anything of the Shadowfell, or of a boy with the forest in his eyes, find me at once.
What should I look for exactly?
I can't be exact, unfortunately. Time and the Shadow Curse won't have been kind to any traces that would have been left behind. A living witness is unlikely, I'll admit. But perhaps there'll be an unliving witness, or some lingering echo of what we seek. Don't worry. If you find something, you will know it.
Alright, well that's all of our companions checked on, except for the vampire I've not been doing much with.
Yes?
Oh, and Volo's still here.
Ah, my good fellow. Quite the cozy setup you have here. I'll just make myself comfortable. Thank you so much.
Yeah, well, I gotta admit, I had it spoiled for me exactly what happens if you do let him try to fix the parasite problem. And it turns out that I missed out on one of the best boons early on in the game. Because, yeah, this seems like a bad idea. Volo is, by all accounts, a confidence
My
trickster.
research turned up a rather brilliant technique that seems quite actionable. It's not too deep. Just behind the orbital socket. I could attempt an extraction. I've a needle in my tunic, after all.
Volo carefully holds one of your eyes open and begins to prod uncertainly with the needle.
Enter the discomfort, let him carry on.
The needle finds the gap between eyeball and socket. Volo frowns and begins to push.
Clench your fists.
Pain shoots through your body as the needle snags on your optic nerve.
I think I have it.
The needle seesaws back and forth, plucking the nerve like a harp-string.
Oh, bother. There's some obstacle in the way. I shall need a more robust implement.
Hold as still as possible.
Volo carefully withdraws the needle from your eye. Then, reaching into his bag, he produces an ice pick.
Eye the implement, but allow him to
Volo
proceed.
slowly brings the ice pick closer to your eye.
Now, don't move.
Hold your breath.
Cold metal presses against the skin beneath your brow. And then, tap, tap, stab.
Everybody disapproves of
Do you
this.
feel that? Ha! I think we have the blighter on the run.
Hack, hack.
I agree.
Hack, 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 hack.
Look at him. Just a little further.
Volo tears the pick from your brain with a violent jerk. Your eye plops down into the mud.
Tret.
He pauses, looks down at your eye, and recoils slightly as it sinks into the mud.
There appears to be an amount of cosmetic damage. Please, try not to overexert yourself. You're in a rather fragile state at present. I can't help but feel partly responsible. Perhaps there is something more I can do. Take this. A far superior relic to that old jelly you were chained to. Try it on for size. And, it was very nice to have met you. I'm sure you'll sort out your little brain problem one way or another. Far away from here, if you've a heart. Terribly sorry, my friend. Ta.
So, yeah. We now have a bit of scarring, and an artificial eye. But it is an artificial eye that now gives us the ability to see the invisible, which is incredibly useful given how many things in the Shadowlands like becoming invisible. Anyway, with that done, let's end the day. And okay, now I've got some conversation options, so let's...
You know, I feel a connection between us. Like we're two souls walking the same path. You might be a little naive in the ways of the world, but I see promise in you. Ambition.
How do you mean naive?
Just that you have a big heart. You like doing what's right. So I was thinking, what would be the right thing to do when we get to Moonrise Towers? When we come face to face with whoever is controlling the parasites in our heads?
To destroy the cult and then see evil forever. Can I get rid of this one and get back to my life? Seize control of the cult ourselves.
Gods! Now try to think outside the box just a little. Consider the parasites in our skulls, and think how many others have the mind flayers infected. Hundreds. Thousands.
Hundreds of thousands.
And they're not just goblin trash. There are powerful people in the worm's thrall. Whoever's waiting for us at Moonrise Towers controls it all. But if we can take that control from them, imagine the power we'd wield.
Until we transform into mind flayers, you mean?
That's just the thing. If we control the parasites, then we can order them not to change us. All the power, with none of the tentacles. I'm just saying, there's an opportunity here. If we can control the tadpoles, we can keep ourselves safe. And liberate the world from this evil.
Or we could just enjoy having all that power.
Do. It's not often the universe hands you something like this. We'd be fools to squander it. Of course, this all assumes we live long enough to find this, moonrise. But I'm feeling optimistic.
Okay, so... Token Evil Teammate thinks that we need to take advantage of this situation. Yeah, I'm not sure I like having a more treacherous rogue than me hanging around here.
Hey, soldier, well, I'm not feeling so good. My engine is getting worse. Feels like it's going to burst out of my chest. We need to catch up with Dammon. See if he's thought of a way to fix this thing. If it can be fixed.
We will take care of that first thing tomorrow.
I'm sure we will. But, in case we don't, a bit of advice. You leave your left flank wide open. If I'm ever not around to cover it, you may find yourself on the wrong side of a goblin spear one of these days.
Let's see, Shadowheart got anything?
So, that's what people mean when they talk about butterflies in their stomach. Did you want something?
Always a delight to speak with you. What can I do?
Well met. You wish to speak?
And nothing new there.
The voice of the Absolute is strong here, and getting stronger. I don't know how much longer I can resist it. But it's good to see you're making progress. You took an unexpected route here. You did a brave thing, saving those people in the grove.
Yeah, I was wasting my time regret now. It didn't seem like it did much good. The cultists caught up with them.
Don't be so hard on yourself. It's not your fault the world is wicked. You did the right thing. The hurt runs deeper than she's willing to show you.
What is it?
The voice of the Absolute. Stronger this time. It just doesn't stop. We are being bombarded by waves of telepathic energy. Wave after wave with hardly a breath between them. I almost dare not rest. Each wave a set of orders to the infected. The order for your transformation has been given many times already. I just hope my powers last long enough to see this through.
Bottoms up. Long rest using only alcohol. A time-honored dwarven tradition. Alright, well, first things first. Before we head back, even though we're going to restart in...
Been blessed already, haven't you? Move on with your life.
Yeah, I thought I had to do that at the start of each day, but... Okay, we do still have the pixie blessing. Alright, well, first things first.
Soldier. Let's go. Time for a natter.
There you are.
I was wondering where you'd run off to.
Well, two things. Good news and bad news.
Let's hear the bad news.
Ew, no. Good news, please, my good man.
I only need one more piece of infernal iron to craft an insulating chamber that can make it possible for Karlach to...
Touch people.
Exactly.
Oh my God. It's really happening. It's been so long. We've got the iron. Let's do this thing.
Hang on. I think you'll want to hear the bad news too.
Yeah, sure. But first, fix me. Please.
Let's let Dammon speak. This sounds important.
Fine. Well, go on then.
I don't enjoy saying this, Karlach, but there's no two ways about it. Your engine is going to blow and I can't fix it. I'm not sure anyone can. It's simply too hot to exist here in the material plane. Unless you return to Avernus. For good. This thing is going to blow. Sooner rather than later.
But still, you can give me something that'll let me touch again, right? Safely.
Yes, but...
That's all I need to know. Do it. Please.
Go on, give him the iron. Let's make this happen.
Well. All right. This shouldn't take long. Same as last time. You'll need to install it yourself. This should do the trick.
There. So did it work?
Only one way to find out.
Pour into a hug.
Thank you. I can't believe it. Thank you, Dammon. Thank you so much.
It's the least I could do. Before you go, there's something I need to tell you. That engine of yours, it's contained for the moment, but it's just too hot to exist here in the material plane indefinitely. I know you know that, but the thing is, there's a cure. I wasn't making any headway with the mechanics, none at all. The environment here is just too cold to sustain metals like the ones inside you. You have to return to Avernus. For good. Or this thing is going to burn you up from the inside out. And sooner than you think.
The minute I set foot back in Avernus, Zarya will force me back into service. I'm not doing her bidding again. I'd rather die.
I get that, but don't rule it out. The world just might be better with you in it. Even in Avernus. I won't stop trying to figure out a cure, but... at this point, I think we all have to face the inevitable.
Well, we'll have to make the inevitable evitable then.
You read my mind. Thanks, Dammon. Really. You've given me more than I could ever repay.
It's been my pleasure. Good luck. Both of you. Look after yourself, all right?
All right, well. Got another conversation option.
All's well that ends. Not as bad as it could have.
This is the best day. The best day!
Then I'm happy for you.
I'm so happy for me too. Now I just need to find someone to cuddle up to tonight, and I'll be the happiest woman on the Sword Coast.
Anyone in mind?
I'm not sure. Depends who's got me in mind. Withers was giving me the old eye the other night. Then again, maybe it was just an old eye.
What about Damon said about your engine? We need to get back to Avernus or it's going to blow.
Listen, I'm never going back. If you said I could die right now or live 1,000 years in the Hells, I'd choose to go out now with my freedom intact. I don't expect anyone to understand that. But I've been dealt a hand most people don't have to contemplate playing.
It wouldn't be forever. You return just long enough for us to find some kind of solution.
You heard Dammon. There is no solution. It's hell or bust. I choose bust. But I don't want to talk about this now. I've been given a huge gift. I can touch the people I love for the first time in a decade. And for the first time in a decade, there are people I care about all around me. Let me enjoy that. Please.
All right, I'll leave it alone for now.
Thanks, soldier. I just want to celebrate this. At least for a little.
All right.
Light on my feet.
Well, let's make sure that there's been no changes since we got here.
The shadows haven't consumed you. Good.
I wanted to ask you about something.
Then speak.
Maybe we should tell what's-her-name that there is a treasure trove of artifacts to her goddess down in the basement. Oh, and they finally got the dead bodies out of her room.
On with you. Unless you want to come back to a gaggle of shadow-cursed harpers.
I have a few questions.
Go on, then. Moon and shadow. Light and dark.
I think we've done this
Sometimes
before.
Life forces us to choose sides. Luckily, sometimes. Right place, right time. When a cleric, it belongs to the goddess. I suppose they didn't defeat him quite hard enough. I could say the same. Promise not to die, and we'll celebrate.
Okay, so can't tell her about the artifacts, it seems. I just realized, well, more recollected, that the counselor that we saved earlier was supposed to be in here, and we have not been in this room being flanked by the two fists.
That parasite of yours could prove useful. Until it kills you.
Maybe we could have helped him. Marcus, I mean. Before... You know.
He still won't speak. Just keeps going with the bloody song.
Nothing of use on his person.
His original writ of duty, signed by Eltan himself. Fella must be one of the very first Flaming Fist.
He must know something. Let's not give up on him yet.
But give up on who?
I don't suppose you found a way into the towers?
Heading there shortly.
Merciful Timora. That's the first piece of good news I've heard since Elturel. But I'm not pinning all my hopes on you. I trust you will do everything you can to free the Duke. But in case you don't find a way, I'll be heading to Baldur's Gate to seek reinforcements. The Council sent a carrier pigeon with news that the city has been dealing with absolutist attacks. The Steel Watch is holding strong. I'll request that Lord Gortash send some of them to aid in the fight against Moonrise. The curse won't harm them.
Holy shit. That's my old boss. The guy who sold me to Zariel.
You know the name Gortash. A councillor with considerable influence on Baldurian industry and politics. But he is no lord.
Or Gortash, I thought he was no more than a counselor.
Lord Gortash is the man responsible for the creation of the Steel Watch. It's no wonder he earned the title. The Steel Watch are the future of warfare. Gondian automatons that can be sent into battle without risking any lives, except those of our enemies. Lord Gortash had only completed work on the prototypes before Ravengard and I left for Elturel, but even they were formidable. With the Steel Watch at our backs, we can storm the tower whatever Ketheric throws at us, I'm sure of it. I'll do my best, but there's every chance I'll fall to the curse or the cult before I reach the city. Don't count on me and assume no aid is coming. Work with Jaheira. That Harper's mind is as sharp as her blade. Follow her guidance. Farewell. We'll meet again, God's willing.
Well, we got another Karlach conversation.
So Gortash is a lord now. I'd like to clap eyes on this steel watch of his. You already know the story. I was Gortash's bodyguard, loyal as they come, when he made the deal with Zariel. She got a test subject for her infernal engine. I never found out what he got. This is the kind of man who gets a title. Authority. Makes me sick.
Me too. Malekith has no place in power.
No. But they always seem to get it, don't they?
Marcus was scum. But the rest of us are loyal to Duke Ravengard. Loyal to Baldur's Gate, I swear it.
Aha!
I've known Marcus for years. To think that he would turn on us, on me. You did well to defend Isabel.
Yeah, well, it did take 2 tries, but, mission accomplished.
The cultists are among us and you want to chat. Let the professionals handle this.
Thought I was.
Heard you're meant to be heading toward the towers.
Heard you're working on the way in yourselves.
Not sure I'd call it that myself. This fella's in no condition to help anyone. That makes you our best bet. Hope it's a good one.
Alright, well, we will check out this fellow on the bed next time. Thank you all for watching. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Leave a comment if you are so inclined. And I'll see you next time. Take care until then.